second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm stomping ground. The stomach hurt, oh Lord, my Lancer. I'm gassed up in LA down to Atlanta.
We are back here on Hope for Tomorrow Radio, here on reggae2reggae.com. It is this final hour of our show, and once we go into that last hour, we are in the liaison lounge with our wonderful co-host Octavia Duhaney. And tonight, as we continue to talk about redemption, we'll touch on some other topics as well as my co-host want to get into. But we just want to let you guys know again, thank you for the donation to the contributors that always are, giving their time and their money and whatever goods they get their hands on. Really do appreciate that. Also for the schooling, for the young men that were in the school and have gotten through and are continuing out there to try to strive to get certain things done. Be encouraged. Keep your head up. Keep going on. There's going to be something at the end of the road of this, I promise. So Octavia, what's going on? How you doing today?
Good. What's
pleasure.
up?
It's always a pleasure.
Good.
Yeah, we bump and grind. We get down 9 to 5. This is our thing. So, we got to do what we got to do, right?
Hope for tomorrow.
Definitely. And we got to give them the real hope, because the real hope, as I say, is believing in yourself.
Exactly.
You possess as the Bible says, through your patience, you possess the key to your soul. So the importance is to know that in every situation that you're going through, have a mind that's focused, be patient, be ready to persevere and endure. And in that, you're being redeemed.
Yeah.
This is what I found out through my studies. And I had a couple of friends walk up to me today, and they were like, deported migrants as myself, and we were talking, and they were in a rough trial. They're out there, and they sell shows sometimes. You have your good days and your bad days, and they're out there saying, Rick, man, they're glad to see that I've made some strides, and at least I'm pushing forward. And I told them that there's not really much of a difference between me and them. Not because they see that, I got a vehicle now and, I might be on air doing this, meaning that I'm so much further from them. I told them the thing is that may separate us is the faith. I just believe that I'm going somewhere, and I'm not going to just stay right here, because I was on the street selling with them. They're still doing the same thing. I'm like, man, Rick, you left it alone and you moved on to something else. And I was telling them that, I just said I didn't want to do this forever. And I believe that there was something else out there for me. And I believe that the Lord hadn't really had redeemed me yet at that time, and that redemption is a process as well. And it's not just I bang one trip. I'm sure all of us would like that hit the lottery thing and like, hey, thank you, Lord, I've been redeemed. But sometimes it is just taking steps in life, making it better for yourself, or even being an example to others. And I feel like the difference that between me and them at this point is just a level of faith. And I think that sometimes because of the hardness, they may have experienced, they have a tendency to kind of feel like this is as far as they can go, and I just told them, keep persevering, because there's something there for you. It's not the end of the road.
Yeah, it's really difficult, because it's almost like pushing a boulder uphill, on your shoulder, because while you're pushing, there's so much that's keeping you warded back down, and so I was just trying to I had a thought, and it was funny, really, because I always think of the person who's trying to go to jail. They never get there. It's like, hey, look, breaking in entry, and they want to go to jail, because for them the streets is so difficult. They're fighting the weather. They're fighting everything. They're out there. They're homeless. They think about, I'll get 3 meals and, somewhere to lay, you know what I'm saying? And then they're doing all that they can to get into jail, and they don't go. They're in front of the judge, and he says, community service or something like that, And this person is upset that they're not getting what they want, So I'm looking at it, well, does the man who get 50 years, is he privileged? You know what I mean? And I also look at those individuals that got exonerated like 40 years in prison, what do they come out to society and do? I mean, how do they adjust? You know, because incarceration puts you into a say schedule. You know, you get up at a certain time, whether it's 3 or 4 or 5, depending on the institution. You go to work. You know, you come back in. You have recreation. There's a schedule.
Yeah.
So these individuals who has been incarcerated for like 40, 50 years, and then they get exonerated. I mean, what is really there for them? You know, like, I'm sure the whole world is. But then when they step out those doors, everything is high tech now. They don't even know, you know, because everything is so different now. So it's almost the same feeling, you know, of being deported, because everything is fresh, everything is new. No one really knows you. Everyone has like this, you have like this tag, ex-convict. You wearing it, you know, because it's like, oh yeah, you did 50 years, you know. Even though the street might be like, you're like this, you know, king of the street.
Yeah, upstart,
you know?
like, yeah.
Right. But then you also have some idiot that wants to put a hit on your life to be the new, yeah, I killed him, you know.
Yeah.
They have this fame on them to say, well, yeah, you know.
He's a new top dog.
Yeah,
he knocked off the big kingpin, been out 50 years.
You know.
Yeah, I know, right?
And so, I mean, you're still at mercy, you know. It's so I'm like, when does a person feel redeemed? You know, like, because even if you go to prison, say you did something and this crime was haunting you.
Yes.
And you go to prison. I mean, are you redeemed then? Because now you're facing your punishment for your criminal act. You know, I mean, when does a person feel redeemed?
To me, it's the guy that would have went to prison for a murder he didn't commit. And after spending maybe 10 years down innocently, they crack his cell open and say, hey, DNA evidence says you're not guilty. That's having your redemption. The guy that goes to prison for 25 years for selling cocaine, knowing what he was doing was wrong, but he was getting away his whole life, and he has a couple of dollars put down to come out to, that's not really redemption. But the redemption for him would be knowing that he's changed his ways. He's cleaned up his act. So it's always, to me, it's that turning the corner. It's either, you know, that victory over something that totally, you know, exonerates you from not even that act, but that experience in life that you're going through, that you've overcome that hurdle. That was your hindrance. That's your redemption. And I think a lot of us, we don't get there, actually. A lot of us don't get there. I had a friend of mine when I was in prison that was on trial for murder, and he was going through his 3850, which is a motion to try to take back his plea, and he was you know, really believing that he was going to get off and everything, and was going through his ups and downs. I remember he beat it, and before he did, I remember he was telling me, he's like, Rick, man, if I get out, you know, it's like, this is my redemption. I've been redeemed, man. I'm never putting myself through this, because when I get out, I'm like starting life over, because he had nothing. He lost his girl, he lost his house, he had everything was gone. His parents live in another state, so he was basically coming out to a fresh start, and he was like, his redemption was just knowing he had a clean slate.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of us, it's overcoming that hurdle, but some of us don't get there, you know, and in order for you to get there, it takes perseverance. And I think a lot of times that some of those people that, even after you've been redeemed, I mean, it's not like life is perfect. There's still other areas and barriers, and so much that you have to go through. So I think that, you know, a lot of times within us as people, our redemption doesn't really come so easy until we see what life is for ourselves and open our eyes to, well, hey, this is what I really want. And then you see a road for yourself, and then you're like, you know, I can redeem myself by doing this, where I'm no longer caught in this stigma, or I fell in this hole and I'm just so stuck in this rut trying to climb out. I've paved a way for myself to where now you know, I can maintain, I can live life, I can pay my bills, I can eat consistently, I can put myself on just a better quality of life. That's redemption for some people.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, I have to try different mechanism with life itself,
Yeah.
you know, because the forces are there. So, okay, things aren't going right.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Hold that quick thought. We're going to take a quick short break. We'll be right back with more Hope for Tomorrow Radio here on reggae2reggae.com. When we come back, Octavia will explain more about her redemption.
Wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. And you don't wanna fight. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. Never be in the game for a quarter straight shots, and I'm a champion.
Hello, everybody. This is Wendy Lovejoy, www.moneyanswersallnow.com. And I am excited to invite you to join me if you ever thought about anything real estate related. You want to make some money in real estate? Well, we have a program called the Yellow Letter Campaign Mentoring Program. And the course starts April 16th. And I'm going to personally show you how to make money in real estate, from a few $100s to a few thousand. Or if you just want to buy your first home, let's say you want to own your home without a mortgage payment. Do you want to invest in real estate and get some cash flow on the side? Have some tenants that you want to, help out? Well, this is the program that's going to teach you everything from A to Z. So it doesn't matter if you've ever done real estate before or you have been a professional for many years. This program is going to help you. I encourage you, go to www.moneyanswersallnow.com and look for the Yellow Letter Campaign Mentoring Program. And I cannot wait to meet you. Talk to you soon.
Live, and we are back here on Hope for Tomorrow Radio, here on reggae2reggae.com. Radio like you've never seen it, TV like you've never heard it. This is Hope for Tomorrow Radio. Again, we're in the Liaison Lounge with Octavia Duhaney. It's a pleasure as we get into our conversation about redemption. Before we went off air to go to our break, we were discussing about how, some parts of redemption or how others perceive redemption and how others have came to redemption. Octavia was sharing a brief story with us.
Right. Well, redemption is, it's real. How should I say? It's according, individuals.
Yeah.
What do you want to atone from, or, what do you want to be redeemed from? I think it's to each's personal outlook or view, because we have people that are living in a free, and have everything, and I mean they're not redeemed. They are a prisoner to themselves. A prisoner in some kind of way, and they will even commit suicide. So to what point, does a person feel redeemed? Yes. So it's a real individual thing. A lot of times redemption doesn't come from how should I say, wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? It's really within what that
Yes.
person has taken, to be importance within, because what might be important to me is not important to you.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
very true.
where I might feel that I need a spiritual awakening, person doesn't feel like they have a spirit. It's
That's
like,
true.
hey, I'm just here. I'm just walking. I'd rather be a couch or something. Something
yeah.
like that. They have no soul or no inclination of what their spiritual man should be. For them, what is right, what is wrong. To me, what's wrong might be right to you. You
That's
understand? So everyone's outlook of life and redemption is very different. And like I was saying, we have adaptability within us. If we go to America and it's cold, we adapt. We come to Jamaica and it's hot as hell, we adapt. You understand? So, being adaptable, that's a gift. I think that's a gift from God that, He do equip us to be able to adjust with every situation. So I said within ourselves, we have a spirit, and that spirit is the spirit of what we feed. Because everyone does things and may not have that consciousness, like where I might feel saddened for, or remorseful on something, that other person probably don't even give 2 tears of it,
true.
So according to the individual man, that's how they would want to see redemption. Like, I've been redeemed. To me, I've been redeemed when I left America. I was redeemed when I left there because of the fact that, all through growing up in America, it was a fight, physical, literally fight. You understand? I had in 2008, and this is someone that I fed, that I gave clothes to, lotion, deodorant, what have you. And for some reason, I don't know, it's just one of those things. The closest that get the most, they're always the one to
want to hurt you.
You, and cause you to be put in a predicament of, like degrading, And, to this point, I'm kind of really skeptical about who I get close to, who I even allow to get close to me, because it's always the closest person that hurts you really bad, and from that lesson we learn not to allow people to get too close to you. It seems it might want to seem like schizophrenia or something, paranoia or something, but it's like a mechanism. Like I said, in life, I've tried to create these mechanisms to survive, and that's in every way, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything. You understand? So for me, when situations become hardest, like if you had no gas and you have to cook outside, I'm not going to murmur and complain. I'm going to enjoy, like I'm going to make it like a camp out, or I'm going to, put some type of enjoyment in it. Whether it is the fact that, well, you cook outside, it's not about, who's going to clean the kitchen, It's about, cooking outside, the fire and outdoors. And, you just have to take things that are looked at as hardship and enjoy it. Why? Because modern day technology, it takes away so much from us, like cell phones. One time we used to interact as family, spend quality time. Now cell phones, and that's it. Baby, I love you, send a kiss or something. Well, what happened to when you could verbally hear it? What happened to when you can actually feel it? Now it's a big cop-out, It's just about a touch of a button and, we spent quality time. That's not quality time.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's ignoring. That's like copping out of life, So to me, when we go back to our natural state of being, I think we are really enjoying life, we complain too much. We murmur too much. You understand? It's like, okay, so what? The lights is off. You know what I'm saying? The lights is off, all the better. When it comes back on, you'll know how to appreciate it.
That's
you
true.
know what I'm saying? You know when you need the light. Light
Yes.
just won't stay on 24/7 because
true.
it's on. Light comes on when it's needed.
Yes.
You understand? A cell phone. There's a lot of times when I just leave it because I look at it, I say, well, you know what? This is hindering me. Because if I sit down to do something, ding, or a text, or a WhatsApp,
Yeah.
or what, by the time I get to do what I've sat down to do, it's probably 20 minutes already. I would have been finished. So if you don't know how to manage, how to prioritize, you know, you're really going backwards. You're not moving forward. Yes, technology is good. I love technology. Don't get me wrong, you know, because it's nice when I can go on Facebook and see what my kids are doing.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
Skype or
right,
whatever,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? I could be here and they're in America, and you know, it's because that was one of my biggest concern. How am I going to stay in contact with my
your
kids?
of course.
And so, you know, with technology, we're able to. But it's just the fact that the quality, that time that we spend, or the quality input that we put into our interest is not there. And so I look at things, I says, you know, according to mankind and how destructive we are, you know, that I do see some destruction coming. I do. And it's because of our, how should I say, don't care. You know,
Attitude,
we
yeah.
don't care.
Yes.
You know, we don't care for the next man.
Yes.
We don't care for the neighbor. We don't care if there isn't, you know, those traditional lifestyles. We just don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we conform ourselves to not care.
Yes.
You understand? We conform ourselves to not care. It's like, well, first thing, your neighbor and your neighbor, you live beside each other for 15 years. Guess what? You don't even know his name.
That's true.
Do you care?
No.
No, you don't care. So, you know, I'm like, well, hey, you know, everyone just have this I don't care attitude. And when it all hits the fan, guess what? You didn't care then. You know, you didn't care then, so why you care now? You know, so this attitude, it has to change.
Yes.
You know, to pick things up, you know, we have to care.
Yes.
You understand? Because we are our brother and sister's keeper. We are. You know, no one cannot say, I'm not my brother's keeper.
That's true.
Because the minute they don't know where Ricardo is, they're going to say, Octavia, have you heard from Ricardo? I'm going to be like, no. You know?
That's right.
I mean, even though I care, you know, I'm going to be, well, his schedule, he's on point. He's a person on time. So when I don't see you, then I'll be like, hey, something's not right.
Because that's out of character.
Because it's out of character.
Right.
So once we learn our family, you know, our members in our family, we should know something isn't right. When we learn our business and things isn't on time, we should know something isn't right. You understand? So it's about learning the things in life that allows us to be and to do. You understand? And each one allows each one to do and to be.
That's true.
You know? So we got to care.
We have to. And it's a very important point. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Hope for Tomorrow here on Reggae to Reggae. When we come back, we'll get into more about our situation and caring more about our culture.
Never being a king, 4 quarters straight shots and I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion.
It's fourth quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm stomping ground. I got this stomach.
Keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
Hi, you're watching Reggae to Reggae, and it's Blue Diamond.
Make way for the righteous ones. I'm not carrying no guns to the worst spit fire. Make way for the righteous ones. I'm not carrying no guns to the worst spit fire. Big up reggae to reggae. This is Natalie with my girl Cherie.
One love. Bless.
Oh!
Hi, I'm Carrie. You're watching Reggae to Reggae TV. Hi, this is Sonia Richard Ross, and you're watching Reggae to Reggae TV.
My name is Ruel.
Hey, and I'm Joya.
And this is the man Jaden.
And we are British Dependency out of Anguilla. And you're listening to Reggae to Reggae TV and radio.
Yes!
This is the Uprising Roast Band, and I represent the Reggae to Reggae.com. Boom, shakalaka, boom, boom, boom. Sing, check out, I'm out. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Bang, ba, ding, be, dong, bang, bang, be, ding. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Yeah, yeah, the Uprising Root. Reggae to Reggae. Reggae to Reggae. Taking over the world.
This is live while you're watching Reggae to Reggae TV. Oh.
No one can hold me down. We are gonna fly like eagles, soar like dove. Can't nobody hold me down. Hey, this is your girl Shireen, straight out. I didn't know what you're watching, eh? Reggae to Reggae TV. Keep it locked. And this are the vibes. There. One love.
Oh Lord, my lesson. I'm gassed up in that lay down in Atlanta.
Top and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, cause I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. Come on, and you don't wanna cry. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. Look at me in the game, 4 quarters straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. From the bottom, but now I'm on top, and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, cause I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. Come on, and you don't wanna cry. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. Look for me in the game, 4 quarters straight shots, and I'm
Live, and we are back here on Hope for Tomorrow Radio, here on reggae2reggae.com radio, like you've never seen it, TV like you've never heard it. This is Hope for Tomorrow Radio. Before we left, we were talking about on the way we treat each other and the lack of love that we have in our culture right now, and it is truly devastating in a lot of ways. And I've always said that, you know what, if you're not a person of faith or you don't have faith in a deity, you need to have faith in yourself, because I don't see how you can live life without faith. Even the hardest criminals or the toughest of thugs have faith in something, if not a higher power within themselves or the people they're surrounded by, to get the job done, because you're going to have faith in something. And the quickest way for you to not be successful is to have a lack of faith. You want to not get stuff done? Well, don't have any faith in it and see what effort you put into it, and it'll not get done. But in everything, it takes fortitude. And with even in our culture, I think as Jamaicans, a lot of times we're too easy to prejudice things, to alienate others, to stigmatize and push people into corners and
discriminate.
Yeah, and to discriminate too easily. When a lot of time, if we were more tolerant and had a mind that was
open mind,
yeah, and had inclusion, you know. And listen, there's a lot of things in society that we can easily point at, that we can say, hey, that's a no-no, or I don't agree with that or not. But I found out that if you want to make it work, you have to work together. You're going to have to know how to bring people together, have inclusion, be fair, and in the midst of all of that, there better be a lot of love and a lot of faith, or else you're going to run into problems. Because you see, the thing about the love and faith is going to help block some of the ignorance. It's going to help absorb some of the hatred. It's going to help qualm some of the envy, because a lot of times people fear what they don't understand and they hate what they can't conquer. So what we do as people is we see our brother and sister being successful. Oh, she's on a radio show. Oh, I don't like her. She lives over there by such and such. Well, you know, that she ain't nobody. She act like she all that now because she on the show. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know how you got there. They don't know what you got to do during the day, the work that you put in, the times when you may be going hungry to save that money back because you got to use that as fare to get somewhere. The times when you walked from how many miles to the station.
They don't ever see that
They
part.
never see. They only see the fact that you're on the air, you look good, you know, you're all right, you got a smile on your face, and you're doing your job excellently. Oh, I don't like her. But they don't see the parts that you're fighting and scrapping to do. That's the part that they're not willing to do. And that's why I say a lot of times the only thing that separates us from others is our perseverance and our faith. It's not that we're better than somebody else or they're better than us. It's that somebody was willing to persevere more. Somebody was willing to hang in there longer than you were. And that's the difference between where they're at and where you are. Right. And a lot of times I feel like as a deported migrant, I've faced so much discrimination. It's like you get used to it. You know, I remember me and Rohan was in here when came on the show, Mr. Rohan Wilson. And he's a good friend of mine and we hang out sometimes. And we were in Plaza, Duane Park Plaza at there was a pharmacy. And we were at the counter buying some things and this girl was behind us and she heard us talking. And she said, "Oh, we're not far now I have money." You said, right? That's instantly she hears an accent. You have money. So we were like, no. And so we just in our conversation and, you know, she picks up 2 products and pushes it on. And she's like, "Yo, buy this for me." So, you know, before we like went haywire on her, you know, you used better judgment and it was like, "Listen, man, I don't know what you heard or what you think you know, but it don't fly like that. Mm-hmm. And anything you get, you got to work hard for it." Right. And I just simply slided her things aside and we did what we did and walked away. And he was just like, I mean, can you really believe that mentality? I mean, how dark is that? You know, and I felt bad for her. If she didn't feel bad for herself, I don't look at it as something embarrassing as much as it is you're being ignorant. Right. And I felt bad for her ignorance that you can hear somebody with an accent and automatically assume they have money and then go as far as to push your items on them for them to pay that. Right. I thought that was so dark-minded of her. And, you know, we didn't, you know, to Rohan and my credit, I thought we handled it in the best way possible because nobody got loud on her or obnoxious or went overboard. Right. But after, you know, departing and walking away, we were both really disappointed. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times, you know, some things that happen to you as a deported migrant, you know, that's just one of them. And I remember, you know, sometimes just going places and, you know, because you're deported or somebody wants to ask you how you got an accent, why you talk like that, and like, you know, no, we can't help you. You know, and some things that you go through, you know, I kind of get used to it after a time, but there's been some instances I can honestly say if I didn't have faith and believed in that, there's a saying that about being Teflon tough, Teflon, tell everyone faith and love overcomes negativity. Right. And I felt like that was one of the biggest, you know, acronyms I ever thought of came up with, because tell everyone faith and love overcomes negativity. That makes you Teflon tough. That's Teflon. That's true. Because that, if you can have faith and love, like those things bounce off of you. You know what I mean? And that in that metaphorical sense, I really said, yeah, you know, that's really a true statement because faith and love overcomes everything, and it overcomes a lot because it gives you tolerance, which I think that, especially in our shoes, you need to take it like a drug. Tolerance has to be your drug because if you don't have tolerance, it really makes it so hard for you to deal with people and some of the situations and circumstances, the attitudes and the minds you're going to come across that they seem to live under this dark shadow that they're just you know, casted in this shadow that they're not getting out of, and if you're not careful, they pull you in there with them. So, you know, I think you hit the nail on your head when you talk about it takes love in order for us to kind of deculturalize some of the negativity out of our own cultures, you know. And that's the truth.
I've been redeemed like every day. No, I'm serious. You know, my greatest joy right now is just when I'm in my prayer, you know, because it's just so much to face, you know.
Yes.
And you know, when I'm in my prayer, I'm just at peace. I mean, you know, it's like I don't even want to move. I don't want to get up. I don't even want to go out there. Because that's when all your trials come. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, you was praying, huh? You was saying all that, huh? And then here he comes with something you cannot tolerate, you know, and you have to keep it on the forefront of your cerebrum to say, okay, Father, testing my patience here, you know what I'm saying? You know, you know, you just want to go, you know, you just want to go off. But I'm learning, you know, I'm really learning. It's very difficult for me because I've had successful business, and I mean, my workers were really loyal and faithful, you know, and I'm talking about legal and illegal, you know, they always was faithful because of how I treat them. You know, it wasn't about greed. It wasn't about me. There was concerns, there was love, there was care, there was all of that, you know. And legally, I can say that I did not lose my business. You know, it was, you know, due to just situations, you know, that I had no control of, you know, being incarcerated and so forth. And, you know, now, like, being here in Jamaica, the business ethics is so, oh my God, help us.
Jesus.
Oh.
That's a whole other world to venture into.
Yeah,
that's
and, you know, it's really taking a toll and an effect because, you know, you want to see things done right, promptly, on time. You want to see things flow. You want to, you know, money coming in. You know, since I've been here, most all my work has been voluntary.
Okay. How about that?
You know, and it's by the grace of God I can find ends
to make it meet.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to say thank you to everyone that has contributed, my children, families, you know, that has contributed, you know, for me to be able to basically be here, you know, because I mean, to be in the presence of anyone else, you have to smell right, look right, you know, be able to socialize, you know. And so there was one point when I was homeless, and you know, by the grace of God, I won't come to that point again. It's kind of, it's like a thin line because this landlord that I have, and I just can't see how people say, oh, they love God, but yet, you know, you're creating situations to be wicked. You know, it's not a situation where you even have to, you know, you're creating a situation to be wicked, you know.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Hope for Tomorrow Radio. When we come back, I want to pick it up from right there because that's something I can really get into as well. More Hope for Tomorrow Radio here when we return.
I mean, I can't understand.
It's fourth quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm stomping ground. This stomach hurt, oh Lord, my Lancer. I'm gassed up in that lay down to Atlanta.
Top and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, cause I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. Come on, and you
Hello, everybody. This is Wendy Lovejoy, www.moneyanswersallnow.com. And I am excited to invite you to join me If you ever thought about anything real estate related, you want to make some money in real estate, well, we have a program called the Yellow Letter Campaign Mentoring Program, and the course starts April 16th, and I'm going to personally show you how to make money in real estate, from a few $100s to a few thousand. Or if you just want to buy your first home, let's say you want to own your home without a mortgage payment. Do you want to invest in real estate and get some cash flow on the side? Have some tenants that you want to, help out? Well, this is the program that's going to teach you everything from A to Z. So it doesn't matter if you've ever done real estate before or you have been a professional for many years. This program is going to help you. I encourage you, go to www.moneyanswersallnow.com and look for the Yellow Letter Campaign Mentoring Program. And I cannot wait to meet you. Talk to you soon.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com. On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Make way for the righteous ones. I'm not carrying no guns to the world. Spit fire. Make way for the righteous ones. I'm not carrying no guns to the world. Spit fire. Big up Reggae to Reggae. This is Natalie with my girl Cherie.
One love. Bless.
Up.
This is Rob and Reggae to Reggae TV.
Hi, you're watching Reggae to Reggae, and it's Blue Diamond.
Hi, this is Tanya
Knew she was coming and you asked her.
Reggae TV.
Put me in the game, 4 quarters, straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. Hello, 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 yeah. I came from the bottom, I'm now on top, and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion. Hello, and you don't wanna ride. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. They put me in the game, 4 quarters, straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell them I'm a champion.
Live, and we are back here on Hope for Tomorrow Radio, here on reggae2reggae.com, radio like you've never seen it, TV like you've never heard it. In our last 15 minutes of every show, we always like to go over, the donations and to also give any shout-outs that we have before we get back into our topic real quick. But again, for any donations, please respond to Hope for Tomorrow, care of Wendy Lovejoy, 6555 Sugarloaf Parkway, Suite 307, Duluth, Georgia, 30097. And also wanted to let, for our contributors in the past, we will shout them out once again. From North Carolina, Shauna Stevens, who donated clothes and flip-flops. From New York, Donna Johns, she donated $200 of her hard-earned money. And from Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Eunice Curry, she filled a barrel to be sent to deported migrants here in Jamaica. Thank you. Again, if you have any questions for Minister Lovejoy, her website is www.moneyanswersallnow.com. You also can Facebook her at Wendy Lovejoy Coaching, and she also has her YouTube at Wendy Lovejoy TV. And when we took a short break, we were discussing
how people make themselves wicked.
Basically, it's some I would call them impersonating Christians.
Oh my God.
And before we go in, I want to just say this real quick to our listeners and viewers. This is not to style anybody or it's like a disrespect or some form of something like we're going to be derogatory about people. It's far from that. We're just kind of, you call it how you see it. And I think there's a difference between Jamaican Christianity and American Christianity and a lot of other Christianities, because Jamaicans are really Orthodox Christians. They're really that old school Orthodox style. But you have some, I believe, take it a bit too far and take it that they are more holier than thou, and they consider themselves actually, I think they're better than you. And instead of portraying Christian-like attributes or having a divine nature, which is what the Bible tells you about in 2 Peter about having a divine nature, they totally like almost make you what I would call like they give you this anguish about them, and I wouldn't want to say hatred, because hatred's a strong word, but they really make you dislike those ways. Yeah, and you look at Christianity different and think, is this really the way a Christian should be or how they act? I mean, like, if you were to fall down in the streets before them, they would step over you. You know,
they'll step on you.
Step on you. If there's a homeless guy out there and he would ask them for even a 10 coin, to the least of it, they wouldn't find it to give it. They don't contribute. They're not helpful, but yet still they want to sit in church in the high seats and in the high places. They want to, impersonate what I would call Christianity, but don't have Christ-like attributes. And they're more concerned with a position in the church and how they look more than actually living that life that is true. And in your case with your landlord, that's not a Christian.
That's not Christian
it's
ways.
It's not Christian. No,
I mean, you don't create a situation and then make up a lie and then live out this lie.
Yes.
That's not Christian.
No, that's not.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, first of all, to create a situation and then having to lie about it, right there, your heart know you're not doing good.
No.
You know, because it's not a situation. This would be if she had called and says, Octavia is 5 years, the electricity is in her name, and I would like to get it out of her name and put it into my name.
Yes.
Then I could see her taking, calling the light company and say, hey, disconnect the light. Because she was straightforward with me. And now it's my responsibility to put the light in my name. But when you totally disconnect the service and then you're going to literally call me, oh, Octavia, the light people took the meter because there's something dangerous with the lights. Unbelievable. First of all, no one believed that story.
No, that's
you understand?
Yes.
And then to be, you created this situation. It's not something that actually happened. This is something you created.
Yes.
You called the people, you told them disconnect.
Yes.
Now you call me, and instead of having the heart to say, Octavia, I called and told them disconnect because I won't have it in my name anymore. Whatever. That'll be, to me, that's straight up. And however, you would have to go down there to get the lights in your name. This is the procedure. I could respect that. But to literally do that, then call and lie.
To lie about it.
Oh my God. So which church do you go? Please let me know, because I don't want to go there. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair. That's fair and right. Because, listen, I came across a lot of those types as well. And I'm going to tell you, listen, if I didn't know God for myself and I had to live off of one of their testimonies and see how they act, I would avoid church and Christianity altogether. Because they do God a disservice. And I think they discourage a lot of people from coming to the light and to the truth. They're like the Pharisees that God spoke about that are standing in the way of others. They don't want to enter themselves, but they stop others from coming in as well. Because how could you say that you're a Christian and that you are basically God's mouthpiece, so to speak, or the way that God is going to use. You're that vessel that's to be used to influence others to come to Christ. And this is the way you treat people.
Right. And others is observing, because everyone's lifestyle, there's other people looking at, how you're living. I've known children to be adults' guide just by how they speak, the questions they ask, what their inquisitions are. It makes an adult think, man, if my kid came and said that means he's observing me.
Of course.
So, they're going to have to straighten up because they don't want to be a bad influence or a bad role model for that child. They want that child to say, my dad, I saw my dad give, and it's good to give. It's good to share. It's good to, because children are mimickers of adults.
Yes, they are.
And so when we put these examples forth, these children pick up on it, And so when we have, now this is a mother at that too. Yeah. She's a mother.
Yes.
So what do your child say when she see you doing such wicked things? They're going to follow into that same example. You understand? So they go to school, so they do something wicked. You understand? Instead of something good. And I don't let people as such discourage me from God, because like I said, redemption, and I would want to say God is also a personal relation.
They make themselves a liar. They're trying to die. Their actions would make it, because God can't lie, but that's like you're telling a lie on God, because that's not how God acts.
Right.
That's not the instructions God gave you.
That's
and
not
the word
heart.
of John tells you that if you can say you love God who you don't see, and you don't love the brother that you do see, you're a liar.
You're a liar.
So a lot of their actions to those type of Christians, we're not saying all, but to those types of Christians, you're a liar.
Right. And the very thing that I see get these people out, like you see the in them, is money.
Of course.
And I'm like, well, hold up. This is like the number one rule. Money is the root of all evil. So if you're praising God, you're looking to God, and money comes in the way, this is when you say, okay, Father, this money situation, it has to be some fire under you for you to really, look within your heart to say, okay, whom am I praising?
Okay.
So when it comes up to a money situation, you better know how to handle it, being a child of God, because you could either gain or lose. And I'm right. And when I look at that, the last time she brought this situation up, I'm not gonna say it was because of how or whatever, but there was death in that family.
Yes.
And I mean, it kind of was like, okay, Octavia, things has remained the same. You could go ahead and stay and whatever. And when things kick back up again, I'll let you know. So she did let me know. You understand? But it's the order of how you do things, and so when you fall out of order, you fall out of everything. You fall out of context, you fall out of glory, you just fall, and to me, our greatest thing right now as times is so hard.
Yes.
We have to go back to that love. When a neighbor could come and say, hey, do you have an onion? I need an onion.
That's the biggest thing. That's what I've been screaming about for so long, even on this show. We just don't have any love within our culture right now. It's sad, but it's the hard, stern truth of the matter is, because what kind of landlord could you be to know that you have a single woman there who's busting her butt every day, not like she does, and you got the nerve to do that?
And this the thing. I hadn't paid the rent this month because she said she don't want the rent. She want me out. I mean, if I play back the messages that this lady has left on, I think whoever her pastor is would have to really call her in and have a sit down with her, like a exorcism or something.
Well, first of all, and it's the truth what I'm about to say, and I'm just gonna drop it on you real. Those are the ones that those are the vipers.
Yeah.
Those are the ones
and make it really difficult for those who are
real children. those are the ones that stop your progress and growth. Those types.
And let me not come out wrong at this, because every step of seeking the divine that's within us, it's not easy.
It's not.
We have habits that we're gonna have to drop.
Yeah. And again, it's not even her as so much that spirit that is in her that's causing her to be like that.
Like being hungry, when you're hungry, I mean, it could cause you to do so much. It could cause you to
angry and you get vile, man. You get vile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But
vile,
in these times, because, with me reading my word, I don't see where, there's going to be some big, how should I say, rescue.
No, it's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get.
There's no kumbaya moment coming.
Thank you. You understand? I hadn't read, I have read about the purification, and all of that. So I mean, to what it is now, we better know that the good old days, that's exactly what it was.
Old days.
You understand? Now we have to pull together. We have to help one another. Why wait till a destructive act? Why wait for an earthquake? Why wait for a catastrophe?
Yeah.
Why? When we have to do it now, so that we are prepared for when these destructive times come. You understand what I'm saying? That we know that, hey, it's just a form of embracing changes, because they're here already. I mean, look, the earth is hotter than ever.
It is.
You understand? And it's expanding within the insides. So it's going to be some destruction, right?
It is.
So, I mean, I can't call it. God knows it. He foretold it, okay?
It is.
My thing about it, redemption is within the individual. What are you looking atonement for?
Yes, perfect. Redemption is within the individual, and as I was saying, the more faith you have and the perseverance that you have within you will lead you to your redemption. So it's whatever you want to atone for and the faith and perseverance that you have in you that's going to lead you to do it.
Exactly.
And before we go, I'd like to say the biggest key to all of it is love. Tell everyone faith and love overcomes negativity. That's my message tonight.
Exactly.
Tell everyone faith and love overcomes negativity. Tell everyone. And that's the truth of the matter. That's going to be the biggest weapon we're going to have during these last days and times as we continue on in life. If you don't have love within you, you won't be able to survive it.
I want to share, even with love,
We got 1 minute.
Even with love, it doesn't mean that I have to condone to your doings.
No, it doesn't.
I can love you and care for you and still correct you.
Of course. That's love.
Right. I can give, if I see that, Rick, you need a lotion.
Yeah.
And I know this because you asked for instance. And, I can give you that lotion and say, Rick, your behavior, don't change towards me because I've given you.
Yes.
Continue not talking to me.
Yeah.
But I know you need this. So here.
And also the person receiving it can be thankful. It doesn't have to even so much. It can change the relationship for good, and it can just leave it as an even peace as well.
Right.
And it can make up, or as you say,
because I don't want to give you anything for you to like me.
And it doesn't. And the person shouldn't take it as a harm. It should be a correction. So our show is over for tonight, and we are very thankful for the listeners and the viewers that we got. We'll be back again next week, Monday,
with more hope.
Same time, same place, more hope for tomorrow. Again, our message is: tell everyone faith and love overcomes negativity, and your faith and perseverance is going to lead you to your redemption and to what you would like to atone for. Have a great night. Good night.
It's fourth quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm stomping ground. This stomach hurt, oh Lord, my Lancer. I'm gassed up in that lay down to